And we're live. Hello, hello. This is Wayne Belisle with this week's profit maximizing moment. I'm so sorry. My brain just stopped there for a minute. I heard something that made me laugh. Anyways, this week we're going to talk about, is waiting it out a strategy, or is it just hoping, hoping for the best? What am I talking about? Hell, okay, I've been in the process this last week of calling every one of my clients for a couple of reasons. One, we're starting our coaching program next Wednesday, mainly with my clients. But if you're interested, hit me a text or send me a note. Send me an email, Wayne at wjb-cpa.com. But there's a purpose for it. Yeah, I want to get it launched and tested and, get testimonies, all the normal stuff. But I try to call my clients a couple, 3 times a year, especially my bigger ones, but I try to call them all. And why? Well, I want to hear what they're talking about, what they're saying. Well, one of the things that's been coming across is a lot of nervousness about the current situation in Iran and the high fuel cost and tariffs and what's going on and the tax effects. And, you know, it, this is not new. One of the advantages of having white hair and being around for 50 years is that I don't care. I don't panic about any of this stuff because I've seen it and worse multiple times. All right. The 2008 collapse, financial collapse, you know, 2001 dot-com bubble, 2001, the Twin Towers, the wars over the last few years, different changes in administration with different tax laws going farther back, SNL scandals back in the late 80s. That had a huge effect. Major tax changes in the late 80s that messed up a lot of people's planning. So, what happens? I'm not just living through the past. I'm trying to tell you how I look at it. When I talk to business owners like I have this week, and I hear, well, something's going on. I'm just going to wait it out, I think, and see what happens. See what happens with the tariffs, and see what happens with the war and the fuel costs. And yeah, yeah, you think it's a good idea. Just about every time everybody thinks waiting it out is a good idea, but it's not a strategy. All right. Matter of fact, my argument, and I've seen the economy dip multiple times in my career and multiple times while I've had my own practice. And I have a simple thing. Just about every time the world, it's hitting the fan, I send out a blog post or a video, or I start calling my clients and I tell them, let the world have their own depression, recession, whatever the heck you want to call it. Don't participate. And I get this silence, or I have this weird look. People look at me weird. What am I talking about? Because you don't have to. It's not a strategy to do nothing and just go, oh, poor, or worse, to just throw in the towel. It's not. If you're a business owner, you got to be more like the old Rocky movies, too dumb to stay down. Get up and adjust. All right. Look, let me say it again. Waiting is not a strategy. It's really all it is hope, pretending to be a plan. And hope is not how you run your business. Running your business, and that's part of what we're doing in this course. But what I'm also trying to get, well, we're not yet trying to do, we will be doing the follow up after this course is, all right, let's have a strategy for increasing profits and increasing the value of your business while not driving yourself crazy. All right. So if it's not a strategy, why do so many people do it? Why is the instinct to just wait so strong? It's not that the business owners are stupid. They're smart. It's just the default. All right. What do I mean by that? When you're confused and everybody around you is confused and saying how dangerous it is and how bad it feels dangerous to make any move because we don't have enough information. And that makes waiting feel safe and the smart move. It isn't. But sometimes, too, it's just I'm reacting so much that I'm tired of making decisions that I'm not sure are working or I know aren't working. Well, the only thing I can tell you, I started my business in 1991. I've had to change it. This is my fifth or sixth change. I've lost track, where I've literally just had to redo my business from the floor up because what I was doing before wasn't working. Why? All the technological changes that have happened since 1991. I mean, you go back and watch movies that are set in 1991, and it's kind of nostalgic. You're like, wow, I forgot we were in that world. Well, and now with AI coming out, we're having another revolution. The manufacturing revolution in the 1900s blew up in the early 1900s, late 1800s, blew up the economy. We've had five of those at least, four or five of those. The internet, the information economy, the telephone, hell, now AI. And I'm probably forgetting two or three more. So after a while, you just get tired of making decisions. And sometimes, and I think AI does this a little bit, you got to be careful. We run into what's called information paralysis. We get so much information thrown at us. I'm kind of guilty of this. I had a meeting yesterday with somebody where we were going over four things, and I stopped at the end and we had to do a recap. And she was like, "I'm overwhelmed a little bit." I said, "Just go over, go home, look this over, call, we'll do another follow up." But that's not unusual. I've had it happen to me. And I've done it when I'm coaching, especially when I'm doing deep dive coaching. I had one guy that used to call me Hurricane Wayne because I came in and scared the whole place up. But they did things. They got stuff done. All right. Because, like I said, delay isn't what gets things done. All right. And more importantly, you sometimes can see something on the horizon. I want to give you an example from me. All right. I was doing a bunch of QuickBooks trainings, but I could see on the horizon that people were putting free information on YouTube. And people were doing free information, and heck, even QuickBooks was doing a better job with their tech support. So I could sit there and just go, no, stop, or change. People didn't need that. We switched to what we were selling. And so that's something about looking into the future, seeing what's the threats that are coming at you, but also what are the opportunities. I saw opportunities in other places. All right. So that's something you need to look at. Okay. Hope. Hope is a belief or a want to believe in something. That the problem will fix itself. It's never been my. It's never been my experience. I mean, and I guess maybe it's me. I don't believe in it. I don't. Like I said, it's the way it is now. Everything I just discussed about why people do it is real, but it's not going to change the outcome. There are legitimate concerns, worries, and fears. All right. But here's the dirty little secret: time passes no matter what. All right. I got another one. I sat down in 1992, 93 and talked to a portrait studio and a guy that owned a portrait studio. I can see because they really were the old fashioned portraits. You go sit, get all dressed up, and they take a bunch of pictures. And I warned them back in that time, you're going to disappear in 15, 20 years. That type of business is not going to be viable anymore. He thought I was crazy. And I said, you got to look forward. Look at what the phone at that time was in its infant stages. And look at what Steve Jobs was talking about at Apple, as far as turning the phone and the camera. And right now, they look fine in a portrait studio. You find photographers, but you don't find portrait studios. I'm not going to waste time on why. But there's an example of somebody who didn't make the change, who just said, well, wait, this will work itself out. Same thing people are doing right now with AI. Yeah, no way. Somebody else is going to use it. You're not. All right. So, but there are times when waiting is the right thing. All right. And I'm guilty of this one more than anything else. Okay. Um, it's why you're actually trying to gather specific information in order to make the decision. Yeah, I want you to make a decision, but make it accurately. So maybe you don't have good financial statements. Maybe you need to get somebody else to help you. I do that with some clients where I go in, interpret the financial statements, see what they're trying to do, tell them what they need to do next. Get an expert to help you. I'm looking at bringing in a partner. I'm going to end up talking to a lawyer and a couple other people that help me. What's the best way to do it? All right. That's a legitimate reason to wait. You're gathering information. You're waiting for something to happen specifically. I was planning on launching my coaching program to Lindsay, and one of my marketing coach, which, by the way, you just need to hire her if you're doing any kind of online marketing. And I can't say enough good things about her, but that's besides. I've talked me into it. My own staff, like, what the hell are you doing? Wait till the end of tax season. Well, that's a legitimate reason to wait. Okay, because I was trying to do too much too soon. Maybe waiting for a new hire to start. I hired a new CPA in January, so I put some work off until he got here. Contract expiring, shipping. If you're selling a product or you're doing a contract and you need you're waiting for that contract to start. More importantly, it may already have started, but you're waiting for some material to come in. Those are all legitimate reasons to wait. The difference is, what's the difference between the first type of waiting and the second type of waiting? Second type of waiting has an end date. It's not just, oh, I'm going to wait till things get better. What's that mean? If you're looking for the negative, it'll never get better. In fact, I usually tell people, turn off the news for 6 months. That'll help you. That'll help your attitude. All right. But this legitimate form of waiting have some sort of time frame or trigger or specific thing you're waiting for. Fake waiting has none of these. All right. So here's the one question that I'll cut through that I ask myself and I ask my clients. If nothing changes in 90 days, will I have wished I had done something today? Or will I still be waiting and in a worse financial situation than I was 90 days ago? All right. If the answer is, yeah, I'm probably going to have a problem, then you know what you need to do. It's simple as that. Waiting isn't gathering information. It's delaying the things you already know you need to do. Every day you wait is a day you can't get back. It's as simple as that. If the answer is no, you're probably in a real wait and see mode, and that's fine. Just be clear about which one you're in. All right. How to move forward when you don't feel ready? Well, sometimes you just move forward. Most owners don't wait because they don't know what to do. They wait because they don't feel ready to do it. Well, there's some very little truth here. You're never going to feel ready. I mean, I'll be honest, I still do it. I know all my clients. I had trouble making the first phone call because it was like, well, what if they say no? The truth of the matter is, as I'm talking to them about the coaching, we're having a discussion, and I'm usually the one saying, probably not a good time at this moment. Let's revisit this after you've done A, B, and C. Or, hey, you got one particular problem that's saying you're not ready. Let's make an appointment. Let's talk about it. So the next time I offer this, you will be ready. All right. So again, waiting until you do, if you wait until you're ready or you feel ready, you're just going to stall out and nothing's going to happen. Look, the goal isn't fake confidence. The goal is action with clarity. All right. Making action. Those are two different things. Okay. When I'm doing the coaching thing, I sit down at the beginning with everybody and let's pick 2 or 3 things that it looks like they're holding you. Let's concentrate on this as we're doing the course. All right. At the end of the course, what I do, and I do this with all my coaching clients, so it doesn't matter whether it's in a course or outside of the course. We meet for 3 months, 6 months, whatever the term is. At the end of it, we identify the next 2 or 3 things that they should be working on that would have the biggest impact on their business. Is it bringing in the right people? Is it getting our marketing process in place? Is it setting up a marketing system that works? Is it training salespeople? Is it putting systems in place that don't have to, so that everything that what I deliver to the customer is consistent and good quality? Is it working to work myself away from working 70, 80 hours a week? Whatever it is, we'll identify those 2 or 3 things and start working on them with a plan, not just, oh, wait till things get better. Look, you never have to make a full decision today. You have to start with what's my main goal, and that's part of the discussion. So what is this business? Is it you're going to sell it? You're going to retire? Is it something that you're planning on working until God tells you you're not going to retire? That's time, like me. I enjoy what I do, so why would I quit? But I want to slow down and I want to get better people to help. Is that the goal? There is no wrong answer. Whatever your goal is your goal, not mine. All right, or not anybody else's, not even your spouse's. All right, yeah, they should be on it because you're married. Duh. All right, but you don't have to make a full decision today. But based on what your long-term goal is, you have to identify those 2 or 3 things that would help you reach that goal, and then start breaking it into even smaller pieces and go for one of the things I try to teach when I'm done with the 90-day course. Is what I call, there was a book out there, I wish I could remember the name. It was like the 2% Rules Formula or something like that. I'll find it one of these days. I have it in my bookshelf somewhere. But the idea was making 2% improvements every month. Why? Because if I do 2% every month, I can do that. If I say I want to double my profits, well, how the heck am I going to do that? Nobody knows how to do that. But if I say I'm going to do 2% improvements every month, I can identify 2%, a way to bring in 2% more prospects, to do better closing my prospects 2%, to improve quality 2%, to improve profits 2%. But if you do that for 2 years, 24 months, It's not 48% improvement in profits. It's closer, I forget the number, but it's like 70 or 80%. Might even be higher than that because of compounding. So again, make smaller decisions. Don't necessarily try to make the big one right away. You don't have time for a full decision today. So make the first move. Pick up the phone, make a call. All right. Action creates clarity. Sitting still and waiting does not. So listen, waiting it out is almost never a good is almost never a good strategy. And this was supposed to be a 5 to 10 minute, but I got rolling. Sorry about that, guys. It's just an avoidance method. It's a way to stop doing something you know you need to do. So the question is should it be, should I wait? The question is, in 90 days, will I wish I had acted today? And what should I start on? If the answer is yes, the waiting is going to cost you money. The only real question is how long you're going to let it cost you money and delay what you're trying to do with your business and where you want to be in life. Hey, if you're having troubles and you want a clarity call, just I threw it away. I meant to read you out. So sorry, that was unprofessional. Uh, yeah, if you just go to, I forget where it is, but Wayne Belisle, I forget exactly. Just shoot me an email and we'll set up a clarity call where I'll take 30 minutes, no charge, just kind of help you see if we can get you unstuck. All right. To be quite honest about it, there's nothing that beats action. Even I've made moves that failed. Did they? No, they showed me what didn't work. So then I tried something else and tried something else until I found one that accidentally worked. We're not the smartest. Let the market tell you what it is that you should be doing. Hey, hope that helps you. Until next time, this is Wayne Belisle saying, let's make this our most profitable year ever. Have a great weekend and God bless and see you at church this weekend. Thank you.